But speaking of Marvel, um, Marvel released a quick little snippet, and let's play it real quick right here. Let's throw it right here because and then we'll get it. So they released this little clip. Something's coming on Spider-Man Day, August 1st, Spider-Man Day.
We ready?
This isn't the clip. They released the other clip for getting ready for Spider-Man Day, and then they released this. So our first look. I kind of want to play it again. Let it run through one more time. But we get our first look at the new Spider-Man suit, and I like it. I really like this suit. I like the colors. I think specifically it is cool. Stop right there, so he's not closing his eyes. I think specifically what I like about it is it's kind of taking. First of all, I think one of the better parts of No Way Home coming out of that is the ending and what that suit looked like. And let me be clear. I want that suit. I wanted that suit right off the bat. I wanted that suit that they ended No Way Home with. I wanted to start this new, brand new day. I want him to be in that suit. I don't know if it's supposed to be the same suit or with minor upgrades. I can't remember now off the top of my head what that suit looked like in terms of emblem. But I do really like this suit. I like the colors. I like how they're like really like that red and blue definitely stand out. That lifted webbing that kind of goes down is giving a little bit of the Tobey Maguire suit, which I think is kind of cool. What I think is fun is that they've taken what Marvel is like not afraid to kind of, well, they're starting to get not afraid to kind of go all in on the comic accurate suits, which is the bright red and the bright blue, taking some of that Tobey Maguire kind of like that webbing, that lifted webbing that kind of goes down. Whereas Andrew Garfield's was more like it was almost the suit almost felt like a stretchy leather. I don't know. Like it was more like the webbing was like more indented than it was raised. And then we get like the new Spider-Man logo compared to like that small one that he's been rocking, a little bubbly looking one with the toot 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 toot. So we get a little bit different of a Spider-Man suit. With the lowered Spider-Man logo, I mean, I know that his has always been a little bit lower. I would have liked the logo to go a little higher. I don't know. Maybe that's just like a weird preference. Maybe I'm just being weird about it. But I do really like the suit. I do like the suit. We get a look at the new web slingers too, and we'll have a better look at that as well. Right here, we can kind of see that. But pretty cool. All in all, I think a pretty cool suit. I'm really excited to see it in action. And now there's a bunch of set photos being released. Right here specifically. Some new set photos being that we're getting from just various different people. New looks at the suit in action. Tom Holland wearing the suit in action, and it looks good. I think it looks fantastic. I think what is cool, like I can't wait to see this. I'm looking back on all the other suits that we've gotten and all the other Spider-Man movies that we've gotten. And I think what stands out about this is that blue and red comic accurate look. I'm excited to kind of see this, go into effect. Along with the news, one of the other big discussions, prior to the suit being released, was not only the fact that Punisher is going to be a heavy key player in this movie, and we're starting to see that with some of these set photos with the tanks and stuff like that. If you're seeing that, by the way, you can kind of see the web shooters on that bottom left picture. Bigger, stands out a lot more, bulkier, which I'm a little surprised by. I kind of thought that maybe they'd go like the little spindle type of smaller circular situation, but they're going for something a little bit bigger. Maybe that'll change up in CGI in post-production. I don't know. We'll see. But one of the other major aspects that's kind of been released in regards to this movie and what it's going to look like is the fact that Hulk is going to be a bigger part. It's going to be a part of this movie. A lot of people are talking about, and maybe we'll take this with a grain of salt, take this as a rumor or whatever, but the discussion and rumors going around and all that, and I don't know how verified it is. So much that goes on that flies off my head, but it seems like it's going to be like a Spider-Man versus Punisher versus Hulk situation, which could be fun. I mean, I like the idea of taking someone like Spider-Man who just wants to just be a good person and save everybody. Every life matters. You don't kill anybody. You take that and then you add in a Frank Castle who who wants who wants society to, I think he wants society to be good. He wants only good people, like in like the most vicious way, only good people. Um, he hates corruption, and he's willing to take lives, remove the bad people from this world so that the good people can remain. I guess you can kind of take that argument. So you can see how those two are going to butt heads. But then you take into you add Hulk into it. Someone who, when he's Hulk's not Smart Hulk, he's uncontrollable. And so you have the duality of Bruce Banner, who wants to do good and wants to help people and obviously doesn't want destruction, with the Hulk persona, who is just nothing but destruction. And I don't know what we're going to get in regards to that Smart Hulk situation. I don't know if it's going to be that, or if they're gonna, like, there's gonna be some kind of plot points and some reasoning to why maybe they get split, like kind of like how they do in the comics, or maybe that, or maybe he kind of reverts back to not being able to control him, or maybe the arrival, maybe Smart Hulk comes to help Spider, someone, maybe Hulk kinds of show up to help, but maybe Punisher is just so overwhelmingly intense and and stressful that he pushes the Hulk to the forefront. I don't know. Obviously, I'm just speculating. But I'm definitely really excited to kind of see, where this storyline goes. We're seeing a lot of like who's supposed to be involved. We know that oh my God, Sadie Sink is to play a role in this. We know that a lot of the other actors are coming back for this movie from the original movies as well. We know that Michael, I can't remember his name, but the guy who's playing Scorpion, man, it's so disrespectful not to know his name, from from Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. But we know that his Scorpion is supposed to be showing back up and supposed to be a key villain in this. So, I don't think we're going to get like a Sinister Six situation, which maybe that is kind of what they're gearing towards. This is going to be a new trilogy, and maybe they're going to lead, everything that led to the first trilogy was just like stresses with his identity and how to cope with the duality of his personalities. And that was kind of like what summed up, what came to a hold in No Way Home. So I'm interested to see kind of like them doing this trilogy. Like, what is the overall, what are we getting to with this character? And so, yeah, we'll see. I would love for some other people to show up. Maybe like Shang-Chi shows up or something like that. I could definitely see him showing up in something like this. Maybe Daredevil will show up. It seems as though maybe this can be like a linchpin in showing people that maybe that the TV characters and the movie characters can kind of show up in each other's projects. We know that the Punisher has his special presentation coming up. We know that he's also going to be in Daredevil season 2. But maybe this is going to be an attempt to kind of draw more eyes to the Disney Plus movie or Disney Plus shows, to maybe get people to rewatch season 1 of Born Again, and to get people on board and ready to watch this Punisher special presentation, which I can't remember when it's supposed to come out, but is that the end of this? I don't remember. Is that end of this year? Maybe if it is, that's crazy. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just in my head. Which reminds me, I need to get back and watch Werewolf by Night. That was so good. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm really excited for this. And it kind of made me curious too, because somebody asked me a question, or not somebody asked me, someone asked a question. Should speaking of Spider-Man and other characters, should Ant-Man, what's the plan with him? And should he get another movie? Should he get a 4th movie? And I was thinking about what that would look like. And the question was, do you think there should be another Ant-Man movie? And I definitely think there should be an Ant-Man movie. I think Paul Rudd is so good in this role. But I think there's another opportunity. And I think personally what I think, in regards to Ant-Man, and let's, just for the sake of discussion, why don't we go ahead and throw my bad boy Scotty up here. So should there be another Ant-Man movie? I think there should be. I think there's, people have a bad taste. I mean, there's no doubt some of these movies have these characters have overstayed their welcome. It feels like in some of these movies, not overstayed their welcome, but like Thor 4, for example, not you know, Love and Thunder, it did not get the love I think that people thought it was going to get. So there's definitely this thought of like, okay, some of these characters overstaying their welcome a little bit. And some of that talk is, Scott Lang, Ant-Man. But I think there's definitely potential here for where they can take this character. So Michael Douglas has already talked about, not wanting to come. I think he's talked about kind of he's come, he's conquered, he's done this, and it's been fun, but he's kind of over it. I think he's kind of saying he's done with the role. So that presents another opportunity for this character of Scott Lang, Paul Rudd's character, Ant-Man. And what I would think that they could go is that I would like for him to let me slow down a little bit. I think a good way to go about a fourth movie, and this is just an idea for me, because I'm thinking about how they can incorporate some new characters and all that. So I think it'd be interesting if, say, maybe they have sort of a mysterious villain who's probably like, stealing different tech. Maybe even like the Ant-Man, maybe he steals like an Ant-Man suit. Coupled with some, with some stakes, some larger stakes that matter and all that. And maybe the villain turns out that it's Eric O'Grady, one of the other iterations of Ant-Man, and maybe he's a former Shield agent, or he's a current or former Sword agent who steals, maybe gets his hands on the Ant-Man suit. And obviously the movie kind of goes, and it could have similar aspects to how Ghost was kind of introduced, maybe like not like a villain, but kind of, but not. It could lead to some kind of like redemption style arc. And maybe Scott can eventually pass down the mantle of Ant-Man to the Scott O'Grady, who's kind of like in this 1 foot in, 1 foot out, kind of good guy, bad guy, maybe similar to Punisher, where like he wants to do good. But he has this kind of like need to get his. And that would allow Scott Lang to turn into kind of like a mentor type role, similar to how Hank was for him. And O'Grady be the new Ant-Man, and maybe Scott Lang pops in every now and then, still and all that. But I think there's definitely opportunity. I think that we need to continue having an Ant-Man within. We need to continue having an Ant-Man. I think visually speaking, it is so fun. And maybe we can finally bring back Edgar Wright. Maybe Edgar Wright can kind of come and tell his version of an Ant-Man story. With a different character, not with Hank Pym, not with Scott Lang, but maybe with Eric O'Grady, and make him a more complex character, akin to like what he's done with Running Man and Baby Driver. I think there's something definitely special that could be made here, but I don't know. I think, that's just me. I think that could be something that's super fun. And I'm really excited for Spider-Man and the direction that this is going. The suit looks great. The additions so far in Punisher and Hulk are great. And yeah.